with IT Mate, that massive fire in a Richmond warehouse. We now know it may be tomorrow before the fire is out. We're also learning more about when people in Richmond might be able to return to their home. IT Mate's senior investigative reporter Richard Essex reports from Richmond, where the city just held a press conference.
The fire chief here in Richmond says that the fire is about 90% knocked down, and you can see behind me that they are still spraying water on it. We have seen smoke billowing from this area for the better part of the day. Now, what exactly is on fire and how this thing started? We do know that it's mainly recyclable plastics, like the water bottles you put in the recycling center. But how did it start? Hasn't been answered.
It's his mess. It's been shown again and again that this is his mess, his responsibility, his money to clean it up, and it was all to avoid this type of disaster.
Dave Snow, the mayor of Richmond, says the fire and the damage is squarely on the owner of the Industrial Plastics Recycling Company. For the third day, smoke laden with potentially harmful particles clouds the sky over Richmond. My question to the Richmond fire chief, what exactly is burning?
I'm assuming you guys have been in the building several times and you can see what it was. Can you describe what burned and where did it come from?
It was several types of plastics. It's a recycling and resale plastics company. I have no idea where it all came from. I know that the owner has brought it all in and just kind of lost control.
For the thousands that live within a half mile of the building that's been on fire since Tuesday afternoon, they will not be going home anytime soon. The fire chief says he hopes to have the fire 98% out by tomorrow. The EPA and IDEM are testing the air and debris, and they have found detectable levels of harmful compounds. And the debris is traveling well outside of the evacuation zone.
I am aware there's people reporting debris as far out as across the Ohio border.
Mayor Snow says the city became aware of the issues with the recycling company in 2019. The owner has been cited for violations a number of times, and the city tried to keep the owner accountable by purchasing a portion of the property and cleaning up the clutter with a grant from the EPA.
We had some trouble doing that at first before we acquired the two parcels because the business owner would not allow city access to the site, and that was one of the driving reasons, among others, to acquire those parcels. So once that occurred, that process was underway. In addition to that, running parallel to that was the agreement that these materials were going to be removed and sold pursuant to his normal process.
The EPA says they have 34 testing sites around the city of Richmond and are collecting debris and sampling the water, but so far, nothing conclusive. The evacuation order still remains in place around a half mile around this area, and the city did say that they'll be providing people that live in this area cleanup kits, but when those will be handed out has not been determined. In Richmond, Richard Essex, Wish TV, IT Mate.